If you clicked on this video, you most likely already have an opinion on this album. I'd even go as far as to say that we most likely have the same opinion about this project. But before I go any further, let me just...
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'm clapping, ain't I? Am I clapping?
I honestly haven't been so pleasantly surprised by a project like this in so long. So long. In fact, the first time I put this album on, I was so sure of what I was going to hear, and boy was I wrong. His most recent song that reached my ear was Poland, which hit the internet like a missile headed for a third world country. That's a very groundbreaking song, but I liked it, you know? It was catchy, it was viral, it was a vibe. And when he said that he was releasing a new album soon, I thought that it was going to be something along those lines. But yet again, boy was I wrong. Ideally, when you listen to a new record, it is stripped of context, but usually our brains try like something to fill in the blanks by referencing the artist's older works as kind of a guide, a way to feel like you are not totally in the dark. My brain did exactly this, and saying that it didn't work in the slightest is an understatement. I was totally bamboozled at the end, and I quickly realized that all predisposed notions towards this project should be tossed out immediately. ASAP. I didn't really understand what it was though. It kind of sounded chaotic to me at first. Like the first song, not the first listen. The first song, I couldn't really place it. What was this? Isn't Lil Yatchy a rapper? Why am I listening to rock right now? Wait, it's not even really rock. These were just a few thoughts that were going through my head at the time. After several false alarms, the first track was over. And just like that, I realized that I shouldn't have been listening to this album for the first time at work. Because I was really invested. I was kind of excited to see what it was going to be from here henceforth. Suddenly, the context my brain was searching for was evident. Track 2 had begun, and I realized once again that it was a big mistake listening to it at work. My brother, who encouraged me to listen to this album as soon as possible, said that it wasn't like anything I've heard before. I honestly didn't pay those words any mind. But here I was wondering, already dumbfounded, could this album be so polarizing? Or is this just a false alarm? You know, is it just a good start that will lead to like mediocrity? Or is this really the vibe we're getting, you know? Track 3 started and I had already forgotten that I was expecting a rap album. I was so invested in this new sound already, and I didn't even want to think for a second that it wasn't going to be like this from here henceforth. Honestly, if from that point it changed to like rap or like trap, I would have been so disappointed. Probably have hated it. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate rap or trap. Remember, I put the album on expecting to be listening to a rap or trap album, you know? But I was already invested in this new sound. I was here. By pretty, I was pretty much floating at my desk. My 2 company issued computer screens already asleep because I was obviously not getting any work done till I finished listening to this project. I spent quite some time listening to Pretty actually before moving on. You know, come to think of it, I spent quite some time listening to track 2, which was The Ride. It took me a while to move on from that too, so my first listen to this album took a long time to complete. Till today, I am still shocked that Lil Yachty gave us such a gem. If you expected this sound from him, please go to the comments and write it down so I can call you a liar, because there was no way, there was no indication of this whatsoever. I mean, I can understand one song being like this, but such a sonic experience that goes on for 57 minutes just took me by surprise. For context of my my reaction to this, I would have been just as surprised if he came out with a Latin album speaking only Spanish. Less impressed, but just as surprised. Honestly, I don't know when he started working on this project, but from where I stand, it seemed like since The Weeknd dropped Dawn FM last year, they have gotten so many artists less scared of completely switching up their sound. Drake released a dance album, Beyonce did too, and now this. I'm not giving Dawn FM like all the credit, but I mean that's what I see. That's the view from where I stand. I'm honestly glad that artists are more willing to spend time and money and effort to create something that is outside their comfort zone.
Lil Yachty has taken more of a fun and childlike approach to music rather than an artistic one, which honestly I have no problem with. If you have a platform and you can take advantage of it to have more fun and live your life to the fullest, go for it. Like, who am I to tell you what to do? But it is in my benefit though when artists in general take more of an artistic approach towards the music they release, because as a listener it's more refreshing. You see projects like Blonde, To Pimp a Butterfly, After Hours, and so many more where the artist has really put this time and energy on artistic presence to the project, and you can just have them on rotation at any time. Adding more to this list is more than I can ask for.
For Lil Yachty, I think he might move in this direction henceforth. The name of the album being Let's Start Here kinda indicates that to me. I'm sure he will still rap, but we will see him expand more in this direction as time goes by. I just know that some guy with a mic on the internet will try to discredit this album because of how heavily engineered it is. And yes, it is heavily engineered. I remember recently I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across a post where this guy was going at Don Toliver, basically attributing his whole music presence, signature and sound to production and Mike Dean. Let's not get it twisted. These producers are amazing and deserve way more flowers than they currently get. But that's just the evolution of music, the evolution of everything. As technology evolves, everything evolves with it. Heck, we all just saw AI replace Kanye's voice with Kendrick Lamar's voice in Praise God. And it was honestly uncanny. So that's the direction we're moving in. But we cannot take away from these artists themselves. At the end of the day, only a fool will take full advantage of all the tools at their disposal to make their vision reality. Lil Yachty is so proud and confident about this album that he had this to say. Not even trying to diss, but I 100% agree with this. He even went at Pitchfork for giving the album such a low rating of 6. I think it was 6 or 6.5, one of them. Honestly, Pitchfork gets a lot of project ratings wrong, so I wasn't really paying attention to them. Before this project released, my relationship with Lil Yachty had been a bit weird because I did like him a lot, but not because of his music per se. Mainly because of the role he played in the release of Kyle's Light of Mine album in 2018. If you have listened to that project, you know exactly what role I'm talking about. But if not, he played the character of Kyle's inner voice, which helped guide him through hard times and insecurities. I think he did a good job in this role, and helped kind of elevate the album and made it a bit more personal for me. I spoke about the song Poland earlier in the video, and while doing some research on YouTube, I saw that the views of Poland were 10 times more than the views of the lead single of this album, Say Something. That disparity really shocked me, to be honest. In fact, it kind of pissed me off. There is no reason why Poland should have 20 times more views than Say Something. Don't get me wrong, I love both songs, but the artistic quality of both cannot be compared. I guess viral and internet culture dictate everything now. Anyway, it's a win for him regardless. Honestly, this was a very hard decision for me. I have 6 picks that are honestly neck and neck, but I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna pick. Say Something, Paint the Sky, and Should I Be? Yes, you already know why. The seamless transitions between them kinda seal the deal for me. I usually end up just listening to these 3 like 4 times in a row, back to back to back. It feels like just one song to me, and I have a thing for like good transitions. If you can transition well and the quality of the music is dope, I'm usually like hooked. This album is very light when it comes to general concepts. It isn't a concept album after all, so when it comes to messaging, I don't really expect much. Messaging is light and breezy, and the instrumentals and vocals really drive the bus here. It is officially categorized under psychedelic rock, which I honestly didn't know existed until I did the research for the video. A solid project. I honestly hope that most artists in the future leave their comfort zones and give us memorable projects like this instead of generic and safe stuff that saturates the market today. I know it's a bit hard to just switch up your sound. The fear of diluting one's image and brand might come to mind, but looking at it as an expansion of oneself might help make it a bit easier. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.